What's this new PVM content we've been teasing?
Well, the great thing about the Twitch title is that it says Rex Matriarch, which implies there's just one. But actually, we have 3 bosses coming out on Monday. They are mid-tier, relaxing, chill bosses, as opposed to Raksha. We've got something that is far more accessible, something that's just, PVM and chill. You can just relax, right?
So as you guys just heard, we're getting 3 brand new bosses coming to RuneScape 3 in just 1 week. They're going to be released Monday, March 8th, and these bosses are going to primarily be designed a lot like the Dagannoth Kings. However, they are going to be in Rex form. So they are going to be 3 new mid-tier, sort of relaxing bosses, and you could probably compare them to the current Dagannoth Kings. However, I would assume they are going to be a bit more powerful, and I'm pretty sure they are going to have some special attacks as well. We actually got to see one special attack, which I will be showing you guys. But basically, they are going to be quite similar to the Dagannoth Kings, where there is 1 of each combat style, and the mechanics are going to be fairly simple as well. These bosses are going to be located on Anachronia in the Spirit Grove, which is essentially in the center of Anachronia, and each boss will use a specific combat style, and you will need to use a specific combat style against that boss as well. We were lucky enough to actually get a sneak peek at one of the boss's attacks. We got to see the magic boss's special attack, where they briefly did enter the arena and get attacked by it, and that is all we know of the bosses so far. In terms of their mechanics, and I'll show you guys that right now.
We get a vote from chat on which one I'm running at. Range, melee, magic.
Yeah,
just give me a
vote
quick
from
spam.
chat.
Pick the
Magic.
magic.
Oh, it's all magic. Yeah, you guys have already said you want magic.
Magic.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, it's magic. Let's go.
Unanimous.
If you survive a couple of
Okay,
attacks, that would be
Great
nice.
mage.
You should be able to. You're going to pray mage? That's cheating.
That's cheating. Yeah, that's cheating.
Yeah.
Well, I'm fine. I'll just sit and take it.
I mean, you can see the kind of damage numbers here.
Right,
Ooh,
run.
So stand right
Time
there,
to
stand
run.
right
Go away. Run away.
Jesus Christ.
And cut.
So as you guys saw, this mechanic doesn't look too difficult to avoid. At least when the short little showing that we did get didn't look too difficult. I think the bosses do have a few other brief mechanics as well, but we weren't able to see that so far, so we'll just have to wait and see if that is the case. But these bosses are really interesting. If you guys also noticed, in the inventory, we were also shown all of the rewards, so we are going to be getting 4 brand new rings. Essentially, they're upgrade versions of the previous Dagannoth rings. The items that we are going to be getting from these new Rex Kings are basically going to be called the Heart of Archer, Berserker, and etc., and you'll be able to add those onto the rings to get their upgraded version. So the first ring that we have here is the Champion's Ring. This is the upgraded version. It does have a 30 strength bonus and a 5 prayer bonus. Its special effect will also grant a 3% critical strike chance against bleeding targets. Next we have the Stalker's Ring, which is the upgraded version of the Archer's Ring. This will provide a 30 range bonus as well as a 5 prayer bonus, and a lot like the previous ring, it's going to give you a 3% critical chance when wielding a bow. So it's sort of a buff to bows, which is nice since crossbows are the meta right now in terms of range. Next we have the upgraded version of the Seer's Ring, which is the magic version. This one is a bit more complicated and provides a really nice buff to magic. And here's how Mod Sponge explained this ring in the recent live stream.
Channeler's Ring. So this one's a little more complex than the last, and this will essentially give all your channeled abilities, whilst using magic, a 4% critical strike chance. And then with each extra hit that channel ability does, you gain a further 4% critical strike chance. So by the end of it, you're going to be hitting 16% just from the ring on your asphyxiates. And you get to some crazy numbers with Conk Blast. That's a nice interaction.
And then lastly, we have the upgraded version of the Berserker's Ring, which is called the Reaver's Ring. So this ring is going to provide a bonus to strength, range, and magic of 27, also a prayer bonus of 5, and then we're also going to get a special effect which will increase your critical chance by 5%, and it will also reduce your accuracy by 5% just following that Berserker theme. So those are the 4 brand new rings that are coming to the game on Monday. You can also see just below the rings, they have the new items that we are going to be able to get from these new bosses, and you'll be able to upgrade the previous Dagannoth King rings into these versions. So as you guys have probably noticed already, these rings aren't super overpowered. They're sort of more of a mid-tier ring, a budget third option, if you will. However, they do provide some really nice bonuses, so they do have a place into the game. Even the strength bonuses that all these rings have, they are quite high, so they're going to be pretty useful rings, and it's going to be interesting to see just how much they do cost. They did talk about the tradable portion of the rings, so the rings themselves, the upgraded versions, they are not going to be tradable. However, the item that you do upgrade the rings with, those will be tradable on the Grand Exchange, so you will be able to sell those. And then it was also mentioned that there currently isn't an imbued version of these rings as of right now. However, I could see that possibly being added at some time in the future. Now, there is also going to be a 5th reward that you can get from these new bosses. It's going to be a brand new weapon, a tier 82 spear. It's going to be Lanika's spear. Now, this weapon is going to come in 4 different parts, and you can obtain each of these parts from each of the bosses, so you could essentially just camp one of them and get all 4 of the parts for this spear. Now, the spear is a tier 82, as I mentioned, and it does have a tier 90 damage stat as well as a tier 75 accuracy stat. So the spear also does have a special effect. It is going to increase poison damage by 5%, and additionally it will grant a 5% chance to poison targets when using weapon poison as well. So it is essentially just going to be a nice weapon to use when you do have weapon poison, and also since it does have the tier 90 damage with tier 75 accuracy, it's also going to be a great weapon to sort of use for Slayer and more weaker creatures, just creatures that have lower defense stats. This is going to be a really great weapon to use. It also does have halberd range, so it's going to have the range of the Noxious Scythe. And it does provide sort of this extra weapon that you can use in place of the Noxious Scythe. It's obviously going to be cheaper than the Scythe, so it is going to be a nice alternative for sort of mid-level players. It was also mentioned that this weapon is going to be degradable, and also each of the 4 parts are going to be tradable, so you will be able to trade those on the Grand Exchange without having to complete the spear beforehand, so that is going to be nice as well. So these bosses are going to be dropping a lot of mid-tier equipment, as you guys have saw. We're going to get 4 brand new rings as well as this brand new tier 82 weapon. Along with that, we are also going to be getting some new boss pets, of course. These boss pets do look pretty nice. We're going to be getting 3 of them. So we have the blue one right here. It's named Pavo. And then we also have Corby, which is the green ranged dinosaur. And then finally we have Bagra, which is the red one. It's the melee dinosaur. So there you guys have it. That is basically it for the update that is going to be coming next Monday. It's going to be really exciting, as I mentioned, very similar to the Dagannoth Kings. Also, if you guys don't already have the rings from the Dagannoth Kings, you could go ahead and try and get them right now. The prices on them are skyrocketing. They're going up a ton, and each ring is worth over 1 mil right now. So also Dagannoth Kings would be a pretty decent money maker right now, just before the update is released. But I am assuming that prices will probably go down quite a bit once the new bosses are released and a lot of these new rings are actually made. But in summary, these bosses are going to be some really great mid-tier bosses that sort of mid-tier newer players can try, even players getting into bossing. It's going to be nice, since they did just release Raksha, that we are going to have these new bosses which are going to be more accessible to the majority of the player base. Anyway guys, that is all the information that I have for you. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys are excited to try out these new bosses and what you guys think of all the new items that are going to be coming into the game. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you did enjoy, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.